So I'm going to give you hopefully a quick little introduction to my backyard garden. Just a few things. Made this little planner, just some fun stuff in there. Annuals. Same with that. There's our peace lily that comes in the wintertime. Loves it in the summer to be outside. Little tulip poplar that we planted there, just growing like crazy. Put these planters in last fall. We got some tomato plants that I purchased at a farmer's market here in town. They're not doing too well. Put the peppers in, red, yellow peppers in yesterday. Hopefully they'll do well. Transplanted those blueberries from back there, put them in this planter, and they seem to enjoy it. We're going to try to cover that with some netting so the birds don't eat my wonderful bounty there. Some strawberry plants that I purchased last year I put in there. Of course, they'll overtake that garden in no time, but that's where it's going to start. A little bit of whimsical look back there with not cutting the grass down. Back here, got my hostas that I put in several years ago, and they're just doing really well, and just a variety of different kinds, some variegated, most not. It takes a while for the blooms to come up for the most part on all of them, but I see a couple coming up right now, and that's good. Little red bud tree there. We're trying to fill in this area back here with red buds, provide some shade cover. This little cedar came up over there by that butterfly bush. Oh, for a couple years it's been growing in there, and I moved it over here, and it looks like it's transplanted well. Somebody was giving away some irises, didn't know where to put them, so I just dumped them over there, and they're doing just fine. Got some May apples from the Vanderhoeven yard, woods, and they're doing well back there. Hey buddy. Bee balm, can't remember where I got that. May have been that we used to do the thing out at the Arboretum where they have a plant exchange. I think I got that there. Bee balm grows like a weed. Used to be over there by that red bud, moved it over here. Not sure why I did that, but I like the spacing of it pretty good right now. Lamb's ear is taking over that area. I put it around this red bud tree, and it's doing real well. It likes the spot. This red bud put in, not doing too well up here, but you can see there's some growth down there still, and little red bud coming up there. Not sure what this bush is. It was pretty small when I put it in a few years ago. Now it's just kind of taken off, and I think it's brooding down there, and so it's spreading. Put a bunch of calla lilies in through there. They weren't covered up by that bush last year. You can see that bush is just kind of taken over. Some canna lilies from my brother Dave's yard. Not sure what this plant is. Had a yellow or orange bloom, I can't remember. This came from Bonnie's yard in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and as a bonus, got a fern out of it. So I'll probably pull that fern out of there and put that in somewhere in a shady spot. Some kind of dianthus there that's just kind of taken over. It doesn't really look great there, but I don't know. I've just kind of kept it there. Coleus, I think we've lined the garden with, and they're blooming again. I deadheaded them, cut through them one time after they bloomed, and now they're starting to bloom again, which is kind of fun to have that extra bloom. Some coneflowers. I've really tried to put a lot of coneflowers in here, but they have not taken over real well. But I do have a couple coneflowers coming up, so happy for that. Dahlia, that clump came from a garden show in Henderson, North Carolina, near Bonnie. Some kind of iris here with red hot pokers stuck in through it, kind of making their appearance this year as a surprise. Some more of the same back there. I think they're Dutch irises or something like that. You can see some calla lilies coming up that we planted in there a couple years ago, and they're looking really good. Don't know where the columbine came from, but it just kind of came up on its own. You can see several plants of that monkey grass that lines the garden. This is one of those Craigslist finds that Peg loves to get and for us to collect and use somewhere in our yard. And I had some mondo grass in there that was just very low and didn't grow very high, and now I got the monkey grass in here. I'm not sure the real name for it, but you can see there's other stuff in there that I'm just gonna have to stay on top of, because that's just how it is with grass. This back here, I think that's called a kaleidoscope. It looks kind of funny in the garden. It just grows weird, but we're gonna hang with it. Not sure what that is. Not sure the name of that purple thing or this little white blooming thing here. We threw some wildflower seeds out here last year, and that could be the reason why that's there, and the columbine and other things. This may be a form of salvia. That may be what that pink thing is back there by the bird bath, but I'm not sure. I know this is salvia, some kind of hybrid. Apparently another kind of poker plant, whatever, stuck in there. Some other little things that come up that I'm not sure whether they're weeds or not. It looks like we're gonna find out soon. There's some blooms on there. Not sure if that's a weed either. I think it is, but stuff like that comes up every year, and I look at it and I go, is that a weed? I don't know. Let's let it grow a little bit and find out. Some kind of daisies have taken over this area by this red bud and by the butterfly bush there, which is very healthy. And there's another one right back there. Both of those have been kind of transplanted and moved a couple times in the garden. Maybe not this one so much, but that one, so it's trying to catch back on. There's a dirt spot back there, and there's a dirt spot back there that I just threw some zinnia seeds in just for the butterflies. Hopefully that will catch. There's little surprises that come through here in the spring. Not sure, I can't remember what that was, but anyway, it's flowers are spent. I've thrown some different bulbs in through there and a few more coneflower seeds, and hopefully some of that stuff will catch and kind of fill in all these blank areas. I've had to continue to weed through there, and it takes a bit of work. And I think I threw something's stuck in the ground back behind those irises. I can't remember the name of those. Another canna lily coming up. Not sure what this is. We're gonna find out. I don't think it's a weed. Bee balm was back here, but I pulled it out because it was just kind of hidden and couldn't really enjoy it with all the bees enjoying it. I planted some kind of violet down here that I can't remember where I got it from. Maybe that Plants Exchange, but it's kind of taken over that area, and I like that violet, not the kind that you find in your typical yard that had some cute little flowers on it. Some kind of Japanese something or another ground cover. It's not the best spot for this. I may move this over here in the fall. It likes to take over an area, and it's a good plant. Oh, Star Bethlehem, I think that's what that is. Or no, shoot, I don't know. Whatever. Spiderwort, which I have a love-hate thing with this, because flowers get spent and it just looks kind of yucky after a while. Piece of lavender stuck in here. May have to move that somewhere else so it can take over. Not sure if these are weeds. Some irises. I had the Vanderhoevens gave us a bit of hydrangea that I've transplanted, but I think I left a little bit of it behind. And so that is actually up front now. Redbud tree. You can see some of our yard. We planted this tulip poplar. Yeah, it's close to the house. Probably too close. May not live there forever. Ugh. Nandina, I think, yes. More hostas, more cannas, or callas, and some irises. And of course these boxwoods, little bird feeders. Gardenia, mandevilla, planted some Virginia bluebells in there. Loved seeing those in the spring. And there's my little garden tour. I should charge for the garden tour just like everybody else does. I wish it was as spectacular as some other gardens, but it is ours. And this whole area used to be just grass, and it used to be kind of that creeper stuff that you can see over there in my neighbor's yard. That's kind of covering the area out there, this undeveloped part of Hamburg. It creeps in here, and I don't know the name of it. I think it's Japanese creeper something, I don't know, some kind of vine-ish stuff, and it's hard to kill, and I could see it coming up from time to time in the garden. But when we first moved here 6 years ago, there was nothing in this plot of land. I put all this dirt in here and took all the creeper stuff out. It was covering this fence, and that was a job, pulling it all out. But it's a continual battle to keep it out of the yard and to keep the weeds out, you know, whether it's poke plants or just your basic dandelions. There's just always a battle back here with stuff. But I like gardening for the most part, and it's fun to see some of the results, even though our garden is a bit whimsical in that it's got such a lot of variety, and maybe just too much variety, that we should have just picked a few things and done that well. But you could see that we've gone a little overboard on just a variety, but it looks pretty good right now, and I think it's just going to continue to firm up as the summer continues to go on. And I hope, like I said, the coneflowers kind of take a little bit more of this garden over. What I love about the coneflower is it attracts so many different insects, and the blooms stay for a good long time, and they could be repeating, and just the longevity is good, and the maintenance is low. It's kind of like the daisy in that, you know, just let the daisy go. But I don't particularly care for that, because I don't know, it just gets kind of much in the garden. So there you go. The Oberg Garden here in Lexington, Kentucky in 2022, June.